is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We are looking at the Friday 10-game main slate here. This is the big Friday slate. We have officially 1 week left. This is our second to last Friday show of the season. Maybe we might have a little playoff action for all of you guys here. But 10 games on this main slate. We got a couple of teams on back-to-backs, including Luka Doncic. The Mavericks beat the Hawks there on Thursday. Grande, how you feeling about this? You're on the playbook for this 10-game slate, so we got a little TGIF Friday Grande day. We don't have to talk about it. We're not talking about it.
It's a slate, John. It's a slate. 10 games. It is silly season, as we've mentioned. We saw what happened with Charlotte, like playing their guys like all year, max minutes. Brandon Miller, rookie, 21 years old, 30 minutes in a game where has a team by himself. There's a couple back-to-backs that we're gonna have to pay attention to: Golden State, Dallas, Sacramento. I think there's who else did I see on a back-to-back? The Knicks on a back-to-back. The slate, Houston on a back-to-back, Miami on a back-to-back. A lot of teams playing second legs of back-to-backs. Most of those teams are in the playoffs. Some of these teams might rest guys considering where we are. We're already seeing OKC once again rest guys. All of Milwaukee's on the injury report. Zion's on the injury report. Cade's already out. Kuzma's already out. Jaren Jackson's already out. It's a mess, John. So let's just try to figure out who's actually playing on this slate. Because we're gonna see a lot of names that we probably haven't suggested before that we're gonna suggest on this slate.
Well, we talked about, and we'll just get into it because we're at the point guard position. Malachi Flynn went for 50 actual the other night. Or no Cade Cunningham again. I'll just ask the question right away. We'll go back up and talk about all the point guards, but at $4,500, are you forced into a Malachi Flynn play on this 10-game slate?
Yeah.
Kind of all right.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Against Memphis, coming off 50 actual.
Yeah. Does he just start like after coming off 50 actual? Do they just say like, "Hey, dude," like as we pull up the DraftKings slate here, it's hard to just not start a guy who just scored 50 actual. So I understand there's no like real ties if you're Detroit to Malachi Flynn. He's on his fourth team of the year.
Right. He has no trade value. He's not going to be part of your future.
Marcus Sasser is, and Jaden Ivey is. So like those two guys still probably start over him. But just for the simple fact that we know that is in the bag. By the way, like that's probably in the bag of most every NBA player if they were just given like 35 minutes and unlimited. 50, yeah. Unlimited like. If you can shoot, like give Haywood Highsmith 25 shots and see what happens late season. So, I think Flynn's, a good starting point and definitely in our sights.
We got Luke up top. SGA is already out. Halliburton 94. Brunson on the back-to-back. Fox on the back-to-back here. Any interest at spending up at the point guard position here? 10 games again. So we have plenty of spend-up options. Giannis, Wemby, Sabonis, Tatum, Luka, obviously the top guy there at 12-8, though.
Yeah, if you want to get to Luka, by all means do so. If you want to get to Halliburton, 5 made threes again. He missed a lot of shots. Also, you saw in a competitive game that they should not have lost, but in a competitive game that they need to win, now you look at Philly, you're like, oh, well, we need to get out of this play-in because Philly's all the way back. Halliburton played 37 minutes, so good to see his shot attempts. Little lagging on the assists, but nevertheless, 22 shots, 37 minutes is the most important thing. Brunson on a back-to-back. He played a lot of minutes. 38. That's about like the ceiling for Jalen Brunson. I know he played the 43 in the Spurs. That was overtime, so 38. But he went 35, 11, 2 rebounds, 3 steals, like 61 fantasy points for Jalen Brunson.
And you talked about the assist starting to come back for him, and another big assist day. So
another big assist day. I'm okay. I'm definitely okay getting there. I just think $9,300 is too cheap for Jalen Brunson. He's more near 10K. De'Aaron Fox had a big game. I don't know if it's the spot. Second leg of a back-to-back in Boston is going to be that's an 11-point loss in New York. De'Aaron Fox took 26 shots.
Yeah.
It is not going to get any easier going into Boston.
Definitely not. Going back over to a couple of totals of guards you just mentioned, the Pacers there, given 4.5 at home, 235 total. Sacramento getting 8.5 on the road, second leg of a back-to-back. Knicks +1 on the road against Chicago. That game's got a 210.5 total here.
Knicks +1?
The Knicks +1. Yes.
In Chicago.
+1.
Knicks
+1 in Chicago.
Okay.
Does that make you feel like maybe somebody's not playing?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying the Knicks are like the same team that they were. I'm also just saying, are we not? I mean, Chicago?
You know what? You've seen Chicago upset some.
No, I know it's good teams only. I can't wait for the playoffs. They're winning the play-in tournament.
Mid-tier guards here. What's Lillard's status? Lillard is questionable. We'll see if he comes back or not.
So is Giannis. So
yeah.
If Lillard plays, no Giannis, like as good as it gets.
Yep. Steph 87, quickly 82, McCollum 81, Van Vliet 79. Your next kind of tier of guards here.
Yeah, I mean, again, if Lillard's by himself, for sure. Jalen Green tournaments, Steph tournaments. Quickly, 28 minutes, 27, 29 minutes in 2 games. Like, fine. Nothing like great. Dude, McCollum might be by himself here.
Right,
Zion's questionable. And CJ went for 60 the other day against Orlando. He went 36 and 10. Like, I know it's in CJ McCollum's bag from time to time, but you only see 24 shots in situations where like he's needed to do so. 41 minutes, 24 shots, 36 and 10. I would say if there's no Zion and Brandon Ingram, he's needed. So the answer is McCollum already because it's the Spurs and there's no Ingram, but it would definitely be CJ McCollum lock and load season if there's no Zion as well.
Agreed. Giddy, we gone over this with the no SGA. Blow a game against Boston, played 28 minutes, 7 and 11, hit his shots. Maybe if that game was competitive, you would have got the 35 minutes pace up spot or just high pace spot, high total, supposed to be competitive. No SGA again. Are we riding the Giddy train here?
You can. 7,500 is at a little bit of an uncomfortable price. It's like I look at Josh Giddey, I think it's fine, but then I look at like Jordan Poole, right? $7,400. No Kyle Kuzma, no Marvin Bagley,
Portland.
possibly no Denny, already no Tyus. Like they're down possibly 4 of their top 5 players, and then there's Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
So I look at that situation where I'm definitely more confident in the Poole minutes long term than I would be
sure
Giddey's minutes. Like Giddey could play 33, but I think we both know Jordan Poole will definitely play 33, and then it just depends on how competitive the game is. So like I'm good with getting to Josh Giddey. I prefer Jordan Poole.
New day, new price flop here. Henderson now more expensive than Banton. He's been continually better. Getting more expensive though. Scoot 71, Banton 69.
Yeah, I mean the minutes continue to be there for Scoot. We kind of joked on the live stream, like I don't think there's anyone for Scoot to foul, John, and he didn't. 3 fouls for Scoot, 37 minutes, 22 points, 10 rebounds. I keep telling you, like I'm not giving up on Scoot Henderson.
In the game that went 89-86.
Yeah, and he was good overall. Like the turnovers sucked, and the turnovers are just going to be what they are. 5+ turnovers in 5 straight games. 9 of 16 is good. The shot attempts are good. The assists are great. 1 rebound. He's kind of a better rebounder than that. So I love Scoot. You could get to Banton in tournaments. Does this feel like I don't know if Miami sits anyone on a back-to-back, but they had a terrible fourth quarter in that game.
Sure.
Blew the game. Now they're traveling to Houston on the second leg of a back-to-back.
We don't know what Butler's deal was today.
Dude, feels like a classic Miami rest spot. That would lead me to Terry Rozier at $7,000 if there was no.
So
yeah,
they're Celtics have Brown questionable, White questionable.
Yep.
So maybe some Drew Holiday here.
Yeah, I'm always good getting to Drew if he's like the third option.
Right.
So if like Derek White and
Brown are out.
I would be good getting to Drew Holiday.
Yeah, $6,400 for Drew Holiday. Decent little price tag there. Got Ivy, got Io, McBride, Trey Mann, Trey Jones. Thoughts on like the low 5K, 6K range?
I am really mad at myself the other day. I pivoted off of Trey Jones in that Denver game, and he triple-doubled.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm mad at myself is because you think about what happened. They lost 2 starters for the year. And it was Trey Jones, Victor Wembanyama, and Justin Champagnie, Chetty Osman, and who was their 5th starter? Malachi Branham. That was their starting 5. And they leaned on Trey Jones to do a little bit of everything. I think he's an excellent play, 5,900. I know it's a tough spot. I know the Pelicans are good defensively. So was Denver.
Sure.
In Denver, and he triple-doubled. So if they're going to be shorthanded again, I know Keldon Johnson could be returning here. That would be the only difference in terms of roster. Trey Jones would be the answer for me there. You can get to Trey Mann, I think, as well. He played 35 minutes. He played the most minutes of anyone on Charlotte.
Yeah.
But there's guys returning potentially in that game.
Sure. Memphis guards. Pippen, Goodwin. Got to lean one way or the other?
I've talked about the Jordan Goodwin rebounds, and I'm pretty sure I said they were not sustainable. Well, John,
3 straight.
Get ready to learn a new DFS sport, buddy, because I was wrong there. 12 rebounds again. Same old story. If you make shots, look at the ceiling. 6 for 10. They're down everybody. So I think you just default have to look at Memphis here, especially considering it's a bad team. No Jaren Jackson, no Desmond Bane. No Vince Williams, no Santi Aldama. Luke Kennard is doubtful. John Concher is out. Brandon Clark is out.
Yep.
They literally will have 8 players. Gigi Jackson, Scottie Pippen, Jordan Goodwin, Jake LaRavia, Lamar Stevens, Trey Jemison. That's 6. Pereira, did he sign his Pereira still in a second 10-day contract? And then Xavier Simpson is on the team. So they have 9 players.
Mm-hmm.
9. And Jordan Goodwin and Scottie Pippen are 2 of them. I'd be okay playing both. I lean Goodwin just based on what we're getting out of him right now.
Sure. Obviously, if the guards are out for Boston, Peyton Pritchard 46 would be pretty interesting.
Yes.
What other 4K guards are you looking at here?
Other 4K guards. Pritchard, Goodwin, Flynn, all in order. I mean, Malachi Branham's going to play max minutes here. He played 37 minutes, 24 actual, 30 fantasy points. Doesn't do a lot other than score the basketball, but Branham 45. Jared Butler, I continue to mention Jared Butler, and we continue to ignore Jared Butler. Let's not ignore Jared Butler anymore.
Sure.
Jared Butler, 29 minutes, 30 fantasy points. Again, 30, 26 fantasy points in 3 straight games. Dyson Daniels played another 22 minutes. I assume he would see even more time if there's no Zion as well. They might even start him in that scenario. So there's a lot to like in the value point guard here.
Sure. Shooting guard position here. Obviously, Jalen Green, Kyrie Irving, your top 2 price guys there. We'll see what happens with Jaylen Brown. Anybody else here in the mid-tier that you're looking at?
Murphy without Zion would lock and load 6,700. What is the Gary Trent status? Questionable. I assume all Toronto questionables mean they're sitting. So just given where we are, right? Just given it's end of season and Toronto wants to lose every game. Beasley 52, Grady Dick 52. Grady Dick took 17 shots last game. Salute to him. Marcus Sasser 51. That's an elite play. If Freeman Liberty is in the starting lineup for Toronto, 27 minutes, 31 fantasy points last game. If anyone sits for Golden State, Pajemski's there.
What did Whitmore end up doing tonight? Did he pay off the chalk?
Yeah, he ended up 60%, and he basically just played the entire fourth and has 17, 4, and a block. So
okay,
he was fine. Again, no edge in DFS. I played a 10% Tim Hardaway. Had been doing better all night, and then
blowout happens, and Whitmore gets all the run.
Cam Whitmore just plays all the minutes.
Yep. So much fun. Hauser could start obviously against Sacramento. People are out here. I guess Condon could be interesting if people are out from Milwaukee.
Yep. Isaiah Joe. No, Isaiah Joe, 43. True. I assume he starts.
The Thunder guys. Yeah, the Thunder guys will be in again.
Garrett Temple. He hasn't done a lot. He's played 28 and 30. Hey,
I know.
It's where we are. He's been bad, but the shot attempts haven't been terrible. 28 and 34 minutes. Toronto literally might have no active bodies. I mean, they just
Ruper's still playing a whole bunch of minutes, just not doing anything.
I know it's either basically what Ruper or pick your poison. Ruper or Garrett Temple. I would just play
it might be Temple. I don't know.
Dyson Daniels instead.
Yeah, Dyson Daniels.
Also, we didn't mention Champagny, the Spurs Champagny 4,400.
What about the Wizards Champagny? You said Kuzma, no Denny, like that'll cruise out.
I'm not convinced he hasn't even been active for these games. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, he played 19 minutes against the Lakers.
Oh, he did play 19 against Lakers. My apologies. Yeah, possibly. He's been a really good fantasy point per minute guy so far.
Right? And he got all that run when everybody was out, except for Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole was like the only active guy during that time. So
and Vukcevic.
Yeah. So I think you could see Champagny starting. I don't know.
Sure.
All right. Small forward. Tatum 97. Price keeps coming down on Jason Tatum here. I mean, if there's no Jaylen Brown, no Derek White, Jason Tatum against Sacramento would be an elite play, right? We assume. They've officially clinched the number one record in the NBA. They have nothing to play for.
They have
nothing to play for.
There's your caveat. Wait. Zero. So congratulations to you for your Celtics.
Best team in the NBA.
Now my congratulations.
Thanks.
No. Now mine.
Congratulations.
We were the first team to clinch. The Bulls are the first team to clinch play-in tournament spot.
Were they? There you go.
I'm just saying, like you're just. I was
wondering what exactly I was congratulating you for, but okay. The Bulls don't even have a winning record this year.
No, they don't. But they did. They were the first team to clinch play-in.
Okay.
They cannot move into the. They just clinched the play-in spot. They're just in.
So does it make sense then? We have no idea what the Celtics are going to do.
No, it doesn't.
Zero things to play for.
Full fade. Phil fade starters. Peyton Pritchard season.
That's what I'm saying. Like, would you just plug in a Hauser and a Peyton Pritchard while the price is low on them? Because like once they actually start getting minutes, they're going to be 6K plays for the final week of the season.
I would say the only reason I wouldn't like just jump to do that is because we have so much value.
Okay.
Like there's so many. Dude,
how many of those other value plays have hit 7 threes or more multiple times this year?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Also, just a different time. Like this year versus silly season are two different. Dude, Flynn had 50 points.
I know.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying
you if we get the notifications and Celtics second half starters are.
No, I wouldn't.
You know what's going to be an indicator here is who's up from Maine. You know, do they have Jared Walsh and they have JD Davidson, on the roster with them, right? Like
they've probably already we definitely already have a Boston injury report that we can look to. Let's see. Because if we have the Derek White stuff, all right, so everyone's in the G League.
Okay.
Per their 9:30 injury report, JD Davison, Drew Peterson, Neemias Queta, Jordan Walsh, all in the league.
Okay. All right.
That does not mean it can't change. Like that
right.
in the morning. But
well, they got a first round bye, the main Red Claws or whatever they are now. The Celtics G League team got a first round bye in the G League playoffs. They were like the number 1 seed, I guess. So, they might have some availability to be on the roster. But if they were up, I think that would have been a better indication of maybe those guys wouldn't have gotten some minutes.
Right.
All right. We've talked enough about the Celtics. Sorry to take over the show here. Small forward, talked Tatum already. DeRozan, Butler, Siakam. Miles Bridges is probable for this game here against Orlando. Middleton, no injury tag on Middleton. Would we get a solo Middleton against Toronto here at 7,500? Right?
Nope. The Bucks have stuff to play for, so yeah.
Well, that's why I think they would play, but then Lillard didn't play the other day. So what do we know?
Well, apparently there's an injury. There's an abductor injury.
Right.
Now it went from personal to abductor. So who knows what the Lillard stuff is, but yeah, it seems like we are trending towards a potential Chris Middleton by himself, which is lock and load season, if that's the case.
Sure. Josh Hart obviously played a lot of minutes. DiVincenzo.
Josh Hart played. Dude, Josh Hart had a 30-point double-double tonight.
No, I know. Remember he wasn't. We weren't even sure he was going to play.
Questionable. I know. Him and Brunson both had 30-point double-doubles.
Yeah. No, Hart almost at 31, 9, and 8 for Josh Hart.
31, 9, and 8. Sorry. They must have. I think they took a rebound away.
Really good. Yeah, they had really good numbers for Josh Hart there after maybe not playing that game.
Yeah.
DDV played 39 minutes, had 21, 1, and 5. You talk Murphy. GG I guess we go back to Memphis, right? Everybody's out for Memphis, so we just run right back to GG Jackson here.
Yep,
6K against Detroit.
Lock and load, GG.
Probably Kispert as well at 59 against Portland with nobody there.
Yep, both guys.
Both those guys in play. What's your next move?
Herb 56. I know he's coming off a terrible game, but he plays 40 minutes and possibly no Zion. Talk to Grady Dick. He's good. Laravia 45. He's going to play big minutes. He hasn't been great lately. Whitmore 45. If someone for Houston sits on a back-to-back, I mean, even if they don't.
Yeah, you said Highsmith had another good night.
Dude, he was great. Dude, he was great again. He had 36 fantasy points, almost one rebound shy of a double-double.
12, 9, 2, 4, 1, and 1.
That's I've said it every slate, and I'm mad at myself for not clicking his name because he's been good every slate, excluding Washington. Yeah, I think Highsmith is in play. Did you see Jalen McDaniels started and played 37 minutes for Toronto the other day?
I mean, we talked about how we didn't know what that lineup was going to look like. If it's the same situation, I'd play Jalen McDaniels again.
I would too. Him and Nwora played the most minutes. They were the most productive from a fantasy perspective.
Sure.
So I think those two guys would be okay. This is interesting, by the way.
I'm listening.
So Gordon Hayward, if you remember, started. It was against Indiana.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward is from Indiana.
Right.
Could be a situation where he's given a start based on it was the 3-12 game. He started and played 30 minutes.
Yeah.
There's always a chance. That's we've seen that a couple times. We saw it on the flip side of this matchup, right? Where
that was at home too. This is on the road, so
in Indiana.
Yeah.
And now we've seen Rick Carlisle do it where he said he played Isaiah Jackson as the backup 5 because
now it's a 7 p.m. start time.
Yeah, so we'll get the Thunder. Just throwing that out there as an option.
Sure. Power forward position. Giannis is 12K against Toronto. They would stand absolutely no shot at defending him. Banchero against Charlotte, same deal. I just don't know how long that game is even close to being competitive.
Yeah.
Maybe the tip, just off the tip, it's competitive because maybe they win the tip, and then after that, it's just downhill from there.
We did see Portland almost beat Orlando outright a couple games ago. You remember that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but I don't think that happens. Unless Orlando just plays that far down to their competition. Yeah. Siakam's 82. Porzingis would be interesting. RJ Barrett, not on the report, $7,600 for him.
Yeah, I guess that's the kicker here for Toronto. Barrett being healthy, right? So we'll get some form of regular lineup. And
he returned. He played 26 minutes. He had 45 fantasy points, and then he missed again.
Yeah.
So,
and now their team is significantly worse than it was. So
right.
if we get word that Barrett's gonna not, because Darko gave us the update that him and Quickly were gonna be on a limit. So.
Sure. Jalen Williams doubtful. Jeremy Grant's doubtful. We'll see what happens with Kuminga here. Let's see. I guess Portis would obviously be a big play if Giannis was to sit.
Jabari Walker. Just get to Jabari. 5,500 Jabari Walker. And yes, Portis elite for sure, but Jabari Walker.
42 and 40 minutes last 2 games. Gets Washington.
Mm-hmm. Jabari Walker.
22 rebounds against Charlotte.
He went 4 of 17 from the floor, dude.
Yeah, well, not a good shooting night for him.
48 fantasy points, 4 of 15 from the
floor.
4 of 17.
Those are okay numbers. You mentioned Noora, 52.
If he starts.
Arabia. Anybody else down here for you?
Yeah,
Chimezi. Isaac played 22 minutes.
Yeah, competitive games and like meaningful games, they're giving him the run.
I got text from our guy Fancy. I don't know if he hit you up as well the other day. But he says every time he goes to write up Jonathan Isaac as a value play, he wonders if I'm at that very same moment writing up Jonathan Isaac as a value play. I said, honestly, Fancy, probably.
Yeah,
probably am. Probably am.
That's a good point.
This would be a great Isaac spot, though, right?
Yeah, it would. It would. Except he's going to play 14 minutes. Chimezie Metu, 26 minutes or more in 4 straight games, 30 fantasy points in back-to-back games. Aided by 5 steals last game, but if Chimezie Metu is going to continue to be extended, I think that's worth consideration. Where else did we want to go? Trey Lyles played. He wasn't great, but he played 29 minutes.
Yeah, we knew the minutes were going to be there for him. They played Barnes 15 minits in that game again.
Yeah, so he's dead.
Axing out Harry B.
He stinks. Pokashevsky probably can't get to him. He only played 20 minutes. Mamu was really good the other day. If there's no Keldon Johnson again, just play. Dude, he's like a really good fantasy point per minute guy. It just is what it is. Yeah. Also, Lamar Stevens down here, 3,900. I expect Lamar Stevens to have a big role. No Aldama, no Triple J, no literally anybody.
The Bucks there
yeah, I think Lamar Stevens is going to have a big role. We could see Anthony Gill play a bunch of minutes because that's a guy that they've been going to. Mo Wagner was really good in limited time the other day. I don't think you need to go there considering everyone's healthy.
Omiori, you think? Oh, they'll go.
Vukcevic. Yeah, and also Rashawn Holmes is questionable. So they might just have 2-man rotation in their front court.
Sure. Center position.
Najee Marshall. I don't know why I excluded Najee Marshall. 4,400 if there's no Zion.
Okay. Center position. Wemby is 11K. Sabonis is 10-4.
Just play him. It doesn't matter. Just play Wemby.
The quad, triple double, quad double.
Dude, we're just here.
23, 15, 8, 9.
Dude, look at these games though. Like we're just at the point where he's at a point where he's better than everyone else on the floor.
Valanciunas can't guard him. Larry Nance is too small to guard him. They don't have Zion.
They do not
potentially. Not that there are many guys in the NBA that match up with Wemby. It's basically Giannis and what, Durant, I guess.
We saw what happened with Giannis with the block at the rim and
blocked them, right? So yeah,
it's Wemby, dude.
But you do have 8 in here at 8K. I know he let it slide a little bit the other day. Kind of.
He was
okay. 24.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. Almost
the game let us down. I guess I'll take it back. The game let us down. He was one of the 2 good players that played in that game.
Yeah.
Would be a great smash spot for him at 8K.
Yep.
Czech will be by himself again against the Pacers.
He's been disappointing, but it was a blowout.
I don't know. Well, he's probably down to eventually. Miles Turner is questionable for this game. He didn't play the other night, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
Yep.
Kelly O's back for Toronto, so that's good. They're getting healthier. Jalen Duran, I was a big fan of him at 7K.
Yeah, it's a good price, and they're going to start Trey Jamison, so that's going to be advantage.
It should be a competitive game, right?
Should be.
In theory.
Not if Flynn scores 50 again.
It's true. It's true. All right, what else are we doing down here at center? I guess Jalen Smith would be the guy if there's no Turner.
Yeah, the minutes just sucked. Because it's Rick Carlisle. So no matter what he starts them, it still sucks.
True. Vucevic got 21 minutes, 5 fouls in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably, if there's no Rashawn Holmes, I'd probably just go back to Vucevic.
Sure.
Just given like how good he was in 21 minutes
mm-hmm.
and how good he's been in each of the last 2 games, he was just in big foul trouble. Not to say he can against DeAndre Ayton, because
sure
he can. But I would definitely go back to Vucevic. If Jalen Williams is not starting, big Jalen Williams, we saw 15 minutes. It's just unlikely he's going to start, I guess, in any other scenario other than matchups against Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else. If Trey Jemison, 3,200, John, he started the other day on like a spot start after Santi Aldama was scratched.
Yeah.
Didn't do a lot, but now there's no Jaren Jackson. So he's $3,200. I don't really enjoy playing him.
I mean, he played 31 and 32 minutes against Washington and Charlotte and had his 2 best games of the season. You know, Detroit's kind of in that same tier.
Yeah. He also had played 30 minutes on another occasion and didn't do anything in that game.
Against the Knicks, he had 26. Portland was a tough game. They lost by a bajillion.
He has not been a great fantasy point per minute guy. I mean, 19 minutes per game, sure. 15 fantasy points, which is like subpar. I'm not saying I wouldn't play him. I'm also
3 of the 4 games he played 30 minutes this year. He went over 20 fantasy points. So
and he's $3,200. So right. If you were to get 20 fantasy points, like it's fine. Yeah. I'm just saying he just hasn't. Like it is what it is. Memphis has 9 guys. So like we're gonna want exposure.
Agreed. All right, let's build a lineup here. We talked to Luka at the top. We got Wemby here at the center position. What are we doing with our build today? Malachi Flynn as well at point guard.
I mean, I do think like Flynn's in play. I'm just not sure he is like definitively the top guy. Okay. And maybe I'm wrong. He's coming off 50. We talk about recency bias all the time.
All the time.
I think Goodwin is in play at 4,600, Flynn at 45, Brandon at 45. I think Jared Butler is a guy that's in play, especially if Denny Avdia is out. 26, 30 fantasy points in 3 straight games. Like those types of players outside and versus like 1 game of Malachi Flynn is where I tilt the scales to them.
Would you rather Butler at 42, Brandon, or Goodwin?
Probably Goodwin, just given the shorthandedness of.
Okay. All right, so I got Goodwin, Brandon, and Poole. I know you're a big fan of Poole here.
Yes.
We got 6,700. We got to spend. Do we just do Wemby here?
Yeah.
And then we have 5,600.
GG Jackson.
GG, yeah. What do we got? Jackson. I can't just do GG here.
Yeah, I think he's Gregory. Jabari Walker, 55.
Yeah, Jabari Walker, running back exactly. If we did Jemison just for the looks, that gives us $7,800, which would be Middleton.
Done.
Works.
Done.
Jemison's gonna play, right? Like.
Yes, he is.
So Goodwin, Branham, Jackson, Walker, Wemby, Poole, Middleton, and Jemison example lineup for everybody. Grande's got your playbook. We'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern to get you all ready for this main slate with all the latest news and updates and happenings there to answer your questions as well. We'll get an updated lineup for all of you there. But until then, find us in the Discord. Follow us on Twitter, and we'll catch you guys later.